And joining us for this conversation, Mr. Chima Nnaji, legal practitioner, social commentator, joins us via Zoom from Lagos. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me. Glad to be here.
It's good to have you here with us. All right, so you're a social commentator, so let's take a look at some of the ripple effects of what the Minister of Aviation has said this morning. For some people who've heard this particular statement from the minister, Festus Keyamo, and they're saying, listen, this was the only way to do this. Remember that we have elections. They feel like there were some political undertones here to calm tensions. You don't want opposition rallying around a figure who may be viewed as an underdog, because that's what happened in 24 hours. Someone that was initially presented as an aggressor somehow turned into an underdog, and then we now started hearing a lot of people rallying around her. They feel like there was some political undertones behind this statement by the Minister of Aviation. Do you agree? Is that something you think about?
Well, quite frankly, I cannot claim to have all the details of the facts, because in the frenetic desire to perhaps handle the situation, some mistakes were made. And given the public backlash, it appears that some retractions or retracing of steps are happening. Even just some few hours ago, I read where those who saw the remand order were pointing out some serious error, whereby the order was purported to have been given on 11th October for the suspect to be brought to court on the 16th of October. And the question now is who will account for the period she was incarcerated from that date of the event till that date. So that is a very serious technical error that beclouds whatever they may have captured in that charge. The issue of the breach of her fundamental human right. And the question again is, given the nature of that particular offense, if she actually committed it, what she's being charged for, was there any reason why she should have been taken to Kirikiri instead of Ikoyi prison, even if they were to have taken her to the magistrate court for that remand order? Couldn't she have been detained at the police and given administrative bail? There are a lot of issues. So with the backlash, there was no confusion as to the fact that it would have taken a political tone as it was going. And so the intervention by the minister, who himself is a politician, acting on behalf of a political party, even though he is wearing a legal garb as an learned essay. So you see that there are a lot of issues. And I don't think that issue is ended by withdrawal.
That's a very interesting point you've made there. Could you please expatiate on that, Dr. Nnaji? You said this is not over. They said the clemency has been done. They've given a stern warning. I know a warning when I see one. That was a very stern warning. There will be no more clemencies. Everybody needs to start acting appropriately because going forward, you would have to pay if you commit any of these crimes. But you say this is not over yet. What do you mean by that? What's left?
What I mean is that there are a lot of pro bono lawyers that are threatening to take her case. And I believe that she may also want to enforce her fundamental human right. Because everybody sees publicly that so much has been done that appear to have violated her fundamental human rights, both of personal dignity, restriction to have right to movement. If all the charges, yes, the remand order may have been from the magistrate court, but from that, on the face of it, I don't know whether that is sustainable. So there are a lot of issues that will come out.
All right, well, we'll be watching to see how all of those issues unfold. But also, still looking at the situation, it's brought up the question, and of course, hopefully we get that sorted out so we can have more perspectives on that particular situation. you know, and I, you know, I was trying to find out, you know, the access to governance, and that has been a real important question in this particular situation, because parallels were now being drawn between Kwamwan's situation and Comfort's situation. And many people have felt, you know, and looking at everything that's been spelled out, and if we can get that slide there, what the minister has said about this situation. So he says he's been in consultation with critical stakeholders in the aviation sector and those involved in the incident regarding the unruly behaviors. So it's both people he's looking at our airports of recent. He says valuable lessons have been learned. He says valuable lessons have been learned by all sides to these incidents. And airport security protocol, especially, he says, they have been highlighted for the traveling public, which is a very important question there. We have been trying to get people to understand what the rules are when you travel. If you've traveled outside this country, Ayo, you know there are things you don't play with. There are mistakes you don't make. You can't talk back to anyone at the airport. The airport security is king. The people who are in that sector are king because they're running a business and there are rules to what they do. So he says that these airport security protocol, he says, have been well highlighted for the traveling public. If nothing at all, the episodes have undoubtedly helped to raise public awareness, he says, raise public awareness about appropriate conduct within the aviation space. I think these are the lessons that we should start looking at as a people. Have we understood how the aviation space works? What are the rules? When they tell you on the plane, put it up, it's clockwork. They didn't even have to tell me to turn off my phone. I just turn it off, even if for nothing else, for the break, away from my phone so I can have some peace, you know. And he says, on the last two incidents, clear wrongs were committed by both the offending passengers and staff. So he says there were wrongs from the offending passengers and staff of the airlines involved from all evidence available and those available to the public. So he's saying that wrongs were on all sides. It's clear that all the actors involved cannot continue to highlight the injury or justice done to them without acknowledging their own equal culpability. Well, talk to us a little bit about that. Let's have a chat while Dr. Nnaji's audio is being fixed. Let's chat about the culpability question and all the parties involved. Have they really understood that you cannot point to myself and say, oh, look at the injury done to me, without highlighting the injury that you've done to the other party, Ayo?
Well, quite a lot of issues to unpack in that matter, and having dealt with this issue for how many days now, Kayla? It would seem like we are doing what the judiciary has been accused of. Now, whenever there's a political matter, all civil matters also take a backside. Can we take a pause on that for a bit? Because these issues, as Dr. Nnaji said, I don't know, Dr. Nnaji, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me now, Dr. Nnaji? Okay. You know, a number of issues, Kayla, on this matter. There are so many other things to look at, if you ask me. There is a perspective that I got from speaking to an international flyer, a diplomat, a very frequent flyer yesterday, that since 2001, this 9/11 saga, the rules have changed a lot. And many people, just like post-COVID, we seem to have moved on from some of the regulations that helped us to align our lives. One of the things that we all seem to have moved away from quite a bit are the rules of aviation. And it is simple. You also heard when you were speaking with the mental health, with the legal medicine expert that spoke with us earlier, and you were asking questions around mental health. For me, it's about processes. It's about procedures. It's about the things that we are supposed to do and know as a people, and whether or not we do and know these things. I think those are the issues, you know, to raise about the matter. Have the lessons been learned? Only time will tell. I'm almost certain that today, Kayla, today, if you get on an aircraft, sit beside someone, there will be someone on that aircraft that will hesitate to turn off to turn off their phones. And also, you also heard Dr. Oshiemi say, in some climes, you are only required to put your phone on flight mode. In Nigeria, the rule, according to the NCAA, is switch off your phone. It doesn't say except those people in first class or except those people in business class. Because, you know, part of the other issues, Kayla, that we're hoping we'll be able to take Dr. Nnaji on are the economic realities driving petrol pricing, the sports issues, judicial transparency, leadership loyalty, political dynamics, so many other things, you know, that are drawing attention, particularly the issue around corruption. You know that story that broke. So yes, Kayla, you know, those other issues. Former governor of Sokoto State was accused of corruption, and then, you know, released on bail and all, and then there's some politics being played into it. From time to time, when those issues come up, and allegations of money stolen or siphoned or diverted or misappropriated or unaccounted for, those issues beg a lot of questions. And the question of trust, the question of political dynamics being factored into those issues, Kayla, they are quite disturbing, aren't they? And unfortunately, the media has the responsibility of bringing all of these issues up and highlighting them for the people. Dr. Nnaji, what's your take on that?
Well, I don't think that being in opposition gives you an inoculation against being questioned for activities or one's activities while in power. Nor in being in power, or in a ruling party that is in power also affords one or furnishes one an inoculation against both investigation in the case of those who have immunity for the time being, and investigation and prosecution of those who are found complicit or guilty or maybe compromised in some of the public trust they are holding. So it's not a valid argument to say you are hounding opposition if indeed the fact of the material facts of crime could be established against those people. Crime, time does not run out of anything concerning crime. So I don't think there's issue of political motive. If there is a political motive in prosecution, it does not seem to me that political motive can be imputed in guilt of the suspect. If you are just going on your own, somebody can even say that you committed murder and you can be picked up. But can the state provide, or prosecution, can they provide the evidence, the real evidence that the court will verify and find one guilty? You may suffer some consequences, yes. If you have a meeting the following day, you are arrested today, your meeting may not go on. But there are remedies in law if eventually it was found to be malicious or persecutory. So I don't think that argument that people take refrain into is usually very valid. But all the same, people have to say something. So the best thing is that if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime.
Well, Dr. Nnaji, there's a very disturbing story that we picked on yesterday concerning federal pensioners who protested in Lagos, and a number of federal agencies were also listed. I want to get your thoughts on how you felt when you saw that story, when that story broke to you, and how do you think we are considering the welfare of senior citizens, particularly those who served through the civil service and retired voluntarily?
Well, it's very, very unfortunate that those people in government may not be said to have given proper account of themselves or acquitted themselves creditably in terms of welfare of even generally of citizens, not to talk about those who have retired, without prejudice to the fact that some of the people who retired were also bad when they were on duty. But it does not give the reason or excuse or justification for them to be left on their own. I don't think the government has done very well. And it's not just even the pensioners, it's for Nigerians generally. The economy is very bad. Those people, the system that used to take care of elderly ones, their old age, maybe their children or their relations or a communal kind of relationship, all of them are broken by bad economic system we have today. Everybody is on his own or her own, and no one is surviving very well. If you have a neighbor that is doing well, the opportunity on the road is such that if you have 100,000 naira, you may not come back with even 1 kobo if you are so minded to assist. And you will descend into the same level of poverty. And all of you will be on the same train. So the issue of pension and gratuity and all even those who are now in active service, the issue of emolument, and so they are very vexed issues. Very vexed issue. How much is even for the salary? Well, how much do the people working now earn in terms of salary? And there is no support system, not to talk about those who have retired. So the signal you are giving those who are in active service is to escalate bribery and corruption. And you can see the effect of that in the governance process. You can't get any file moved from A to B without following it up.
That's a good place for us to anchor it. Thank you so much for your time all the same. Dr. Chima Nnaji is a legal practitioner and social commentator. We appreciate your time this morning.